The High School Sports Beat is brought to you by Alfred State College, where within 6 months of graduating, an astonishing 99% are working or furthering their studies. At Alfred State, they stress project-based learning, where students work on real-world problems and learn how to think, not what to think. Visit alfredstate.edu.
Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. We begin our look at the best of the fall season in Section 5 sports this week with our opening story, brought to you by Sticky Lips Barbecue and Juke Joint. Sticky Lips Barbecue Juke Joint, New York State's largest barbecue restaurant right here in Rochester. See our menu and live music calendar at StickyLipsBBQ.com. Sticky Lips BBQ, Jefferson Road in Henrietta. We profiled the Irondequoit girls volleyball team early in the season as they talked about their quest to return to states, which they did in spectacular fashion.
All right, guys, come on over.
When Irondequoit's Emma Sheehan recorded her 2,000th career assist in the season opener against Churchville, she became the first player in program history to hit that milestone. A 5-year starter for the two-time defending sectional champs, she isn't one to get caught up in the personal accomplishments. She's focused on doing whatever it takes to make the Eagles as successful as they can be.
It's really great, and it's just a lot of fun as well, like just being part of this team. We have really great chemistry. Everyone just works together so well, and I don't know, it's just fun coming back every year. I look forward to it. After volleyball season's over, I'm like, how many days till the next volleyball season? I want to get back at it, so.
Her coach has been able to witness her development throughout her career and says she has the perfect combination of brains and ability.
She's, if not the smartest, one of the smartest players I've ever had out on the court. Fortunately for me, she's been starting for 5 years, and I've seen her grow. She was a setter, but she's such a complete player that over the last couple years, we've decided to use her in serve, receive, let her swing a little offensively. And honestly, she's one of those kids, she can do it all on the volleyball court.
And while he's been able to see her growth in high school, the foundation for her success was laid a long time ago.
I think it's her ability to read plays out there. You watch her play, she sees things that other players don't, and I attribute that to her mom was a volleyball player and got her started very young, so she's been on a volleyball court pretty much her whole life, and it's just amazing to watch her because she sees things that other players just don't.
This year's squad has a core of veterans who have been together for a long time. When you can send out 3 all-Greater Rochester performers, you know that things are in pretty good hands. But it takes more than just the skills to get the job done. You need to have the intangibles as well.
It's so important because we want good team chemistry, so that shows on the court too, not just in practice. It shows in games when we bring it together instead of getting into our heads and getting mad at each other more than coming together and saying, okay, we got this, and getting focused.
We work well together, so one of us has a great hit, we're cheering with them, encouraging them. But when someone shanks a pass, we're right there picking back up. So that's really important with the volleyball team to be able to do that.
That chemistry was tested early on when they fell to Hilton. Disappointing for sure, but it also served as a wake-up call.
Yeah, we just have to come on the court and we have to not expect that we're going to win because clearly we are beatable. So we just have to always bring our A game and make sure that we're just ready to play.
Yeah, when we lost Ella and I sat down and talked to the team about we need to focus more and we can't just go out thinking that we're going to win every game, but we just have to keep our mindset into the game instead of after the game.
We're in the gym the next day, ready to practice, ready to come back for that. And then this past week, Irondequoit, really 1 in 3 sets, we were ready, back at it. So we definitely have that pressure. All the teams are looking for us, they're ready to play us, they're ready. So I guess we just have to bring that same energy back to them and be ready to play them as well. Some of us going into the season, we were like, oh, we're going to go into the game and just win it. But I think it really definitely taught us that we're going to have to work for every game, every ball, put that 100% in, just like every other team's doing when they're going to play us. So
when I took over, I had no expectations. I was 22 years old. Basically walked into the job because the varsity coach ahead of me, I was a JV coach for a year and they had left. But it's been exciting. It's been rewarding to see how far we've come in those 24 years. You know, when I first started, we were, 500 type team, and now we've had a lot of success winning the last 2 sectional titles. We won a state championship in 2008. But I've been blessed. I've been blessed to have great players that love the game, are passionate about the game, and they go that extra mile, and they love to play club. So they're playing volleyball, 10, 11 months out of the year, and that makes my job easier.
Being a part of such a solid team is one thing. Being part of a program that is so successful is even better. And it doesn't look like there are any signs of it slowing down.
Now, the last 5-6 years, we've started a youth program with 3rd through 6th graders. And we keep ending up with like 50, 60 kids that are interested, and we have this huge wait list, and I wish I could let them all play. And part of it is because of the tradition we have. Kids want to be involved in the sport, where they're going to be successful, and, that success breeds success.
It makes me feel pretty good, being compared to like Mary Cushman and stuff. Of course it's like an honor, and just for us 3 to be together and be able to do big things and take this team good places is just good.
Since we were like little kids, everyone was like, oh, you guys are so young, like you guys are gonna be together forever. Since we're like seniors and older and stuff like that, it's built a lot of chemistry. So yeah, we've been together forever.
The Eagles made it to the state finals before losing a tough contest to Burnt Hills Ballston Lake. Congrats to Irondequoit on being the state runner-up in Class A. Well, coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the Dunkin High School Notebook. We'll have that when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, returns.
I know you're not supposed to look straight at it, but...
Man, it looks delicious.
Get ready for a whole new way to start the day. Introducing the great-tasting, plant-based Beyond Sausage Sandwich. Only at Dunkin.
Hello once again, everybody. Welcome to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I am Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, brought to you by Dunkin. America runs on Dunkin. Joining us once again this week, Matt Trabold. Matt, great to have you back.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, Matt, it's that time once again to go to the Carrier Dome for the state championships in football, and McQuaid making its first trip ever to a state finals.
Yeah, so McQuaid had to claw back, down 13 points in both the sectional final against Aquinas and then the first game in states, but they needed no big turnaround in this game. I mean, you had the big star for a long time now, Andrew Passero. He's a big name running back. And in this game, he did play well. He had a couple touchdowns. He did not have as much of a limp as a week before, and he goes out and he ties the game at 7 with a 4th down run, and then he also scores within the final minute. But the big star for them, surprisingly to a certain degree because Passero has been playing so well, was first-year starting quarterback Joe Cairns. He had 4 touchdowns in this game. He had 3 with his legs and 1 with his arm. This is the best game of the season for him, which is obviously a big deal. This is a big matchup. It's a big point in the season. And I would say the most trust in him in a very long time by the coaching staff. I haven't seen him throw this much in a very long time. Their next one in the state final against the Huguenots of New Rochelle should be very interesting because they also have a first-year starting quarterback in sophomore Tariq Benjamin. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain right now. So you have the storyline of a couple star players in Benjamin and then Passero for the Knights dealing with injuries and a pair of starting quarterbacks that are in their first year at the job. It should be very interesting.
And a great nickname, the Huguenots. That one's tough to top. But talk about McQuaid. I mean, was this going into the year and throughout the year? Did you see this as a team that could go this deep?
I think it was, even after they had that really big win to start the season against Aquinas, another titan in this area, in the state as a whole. You think maybe they could waver in terms of losing to Aquinas again, but they were never going to be below one of those top 2 teams.
Well, let's talk about some of the guys that aren't playing right now, but still got one last chance to show their stuff. The Eddie Meath All-Star Game, always a great event.
Yeah, like you just said, Eddie Meath game is a joy every year, whether you're covering it or whether you're in the stands. And this one was no different. It seemed like the West team going into it on paper, had the advantage. They had a lot more players, so a lot more rest obviously involved with the guys out there, and they're switching all the time. Plus, they had a lot of guys, including Freddie Brock, East High running back, who recently decommitted from UMass. So a lot of guys with D1 looks going on that team. But it ended up being a shutout win, 21-0. Put on a show. That's what the East team did. And the two stars of the game, a guy you know very well, Sharon Davis, quarterback, running threat from East Ridge, and then Chase Rizzo from Red Jacket, a wide receiver. So the starting scoring drive comes from the legs of your man, Sharon Davis. He has a QB keeper, and then not long afterwards, on a wild play, he receives a screen pass and then throws it himself, chucks it down 75 yards to Rizzo, and then Rizzo adds a second touchdown catch in the fourth quarter from Pat Sharon from Rush Henrietta. He's named MVP. Very fun game.
That's awesome. Always great to see those guys get one last chance to show their stuff to the best of Section 5, getting a chance to shine one more time. Matt, as always, great stuff. Thanks so much. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College right after this. Coming up next, the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara, and later, the Boys of Summer honor the fallen in Greece. And the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. Hit the ground running at alfredstate.edu. I'm Kyle O'Gara. Wegmans is a proud supporter of Making the Grade, which highlights the accomplishments of Section 5 student athletes on and off the playing field. We now take a look back at our Making the Grade honorees from the fall season, starting off with Our Lady of Mercy senior Kristen Johnson. Kristen is a high-scoring co-captain of the Mercy girls lacrosse team and is a Section 5 all-tournament pick 2 years in a row. Michelle Rosati is a Bishop Kearney senior who is a decorated volleyball, softball, and track runner for the Kings and is a member of the National Honor Society. Churchville Chili junior Sam Lyon is a track and field, cross-country, and indoor track runner for the Saints and maintains a 98.5 average. Melissa Pauley of Hilton is a senior captain of the cross-country team, secretary of Hilton's National Honor Society, and upholds a perfect 100% average. Greece Olympia's JC Palmgreen is a captain of the girls soccer team, as well as an all-county team pick and senior class president. That'll do it for this week's Making the Grade honorees. We'll continue the second half of our recap next week. If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. And now here's Dave with the McArdles Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here are some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in this week's Section 5 Spotlight, brought to you by McArdles and Fairport. Come home to McArdles. Well, congrats to the McQuaid Volleyball team on winning a state championship, beating Sachem North in 5 sets. It's a record 5th state title for head coach Christopher Parks. Congrats to Pittsford Swimming's Megan Duell, who won 2 gold medals at the New York Federation Championships. The Notre Dame commit won the 100 backstroke and set a new Federation record in winning the 100 fly. And finally, Pittsford Menden's Sam Lawler won the Federation Cross Country Championship. He's just the 3rd boy from Section 5 to win and the 1st since 2007. Sam has committed to join his brother Nathan at Syracuse next fall. Well, up next, the Grease Tornadoes dedicate their season to our troops. We'll have their story when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
And now to Eichel. He floated one.
Well, thanks once again for joining us on the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. We're looking at the best stories of the fall season on the Sports Beat, and our next look back takes us to Greece and a team that went to great lengths to honor our fallen heroes. Here's Paul Gotham.
What started with a parent's suggestion hatched a plan to honor fallen soldiers.
Nice, there we go.
The Grease Tornadoes travel baseball team dedicated its 2019 season to local military men and women who have given the greatest sacrifice.
Personally, what does it mean to you to be able to wear that name on your back?
It's just
we want to give our thanks to everyone that serves in the military, currently or in the past. It just means a lot for us, for our freedom. And I thought it was an honor because, it's incredible to play for somebody that passed away fighting for our country, And I talked to the family, and they were pretty sad when we had the game for the fallen soldier. And, I just made them feel a lot better, and they felt better that I was representing their son.
I love representing it. It's a great cause just to put a smile on their face and represent a family's kid that they represent our country. So I love it.
What has this whole gesture on your part meant to you personally to be able to put that name on your back?
Personally, it's been an honor being able to wear it every Sunday on a special day. It's just been honorable because there's many men and women that have lost their lives, and just being able to wear hers is very cool because I know the rock that had her face on it. Being able to see it and know that I have her name on my back is very memorable and emotional too. Knowing that what we do for them is it means a lot to them, and that means a lot to me too. She told me that the one thing about being a mother of a fallen soldier, she just hopes that nobody forgets who he is. And she said this stuff like this just reminds her that people are there and they remember, and there's a great feeling.
How the plan started?
So one of the kids on our team, Lucas, his dad's a veteran, and he came up with the idea of having soldiers' names on the back of our jersey. So I went home and I created the jersey right online and then shot it over to him, and his mom really was a big force in making it happen. She went and contacted a lot of people, Blue Star Mothers and the VFW, and we all just jumped from there.
We contacted the Blue Star Mothers. It's an organization with active members in the military, and they were actually our primary contact with the Gold Star Mothers. And the Gold Star Mothers and fathers are people who have actually lost somebody in a war. So we coordinated with them, and they really made it happen for us as far as getting permission from the families to represent their loved ones throughout the season. I was really taken aback by it. For a group of 16, 17, 18-year-old kids to come up with an idea like this is pretty special. So it was touching, and I think it's been great so far this year.
What it has meant to the players wearing the names on their jerseys?
I couldn't imagine going through that, losing they lost their father, unfortunately. But I couldn't imagine losing my dad. He's always there for me. But what they went through is absolutely astonishing to me, and where they are right now, I'm very happy to know him. So, personally, my cousin was a Marine. He was in the Marines. He made it out, which is great, and served in Afghanistan. But just to represent someone who fought for my country and fought for my freedom and allows me to play this great game every day, just puts a smile on my face and their face, and I love to do it.
Armani Malinka honored Staff Sergeant Nick Reed, the son of Ken and Dorothy Reed.
Well, we were very excited about it because it was just one more way that people would know that there's soldiers who have died from this area, so that we can all be out on a nice sunny day like today. So we were very pleased with it, yes.
It's an honor just to keep the memory of the soldiers alive and the fact that our military is all over the world protecting us. They have been so receptive. They have really honored us in ways that we didn't think was there, and it's so important because it's the young people. It's this generation that are learning about the history of our country right now. It's exciting.
History can be forgotten very quickly, and for these young men to do this meant that now they understand more about the history that has gone before them and the people that have gone before them.
And now it'll be a part of their history to carry on for their children and therefore the history of our country.
They were telling me that their son, who I'm representing, was actually part of the bomb squad. And I thought that's very brave of him. And, it's crazy to do that.
The tribute to the fallen soldiers lasted throughout the summer. From the town of Greece, this is the High School Sports Beat brought to you by Alfred State College.
Well, we'd like to thank our sponsors, especially Alfred State College, for making the Sports Beat possible. We'd also like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week for part 2 of our look at the best of the fall season.